You're a yoga teacher and you're teaching multiple classes a week, maybe multiple classes a day. How can you keep it fresh? How can you keep yourself passionate about each class if you're teaching so many? I want to help you with this possible problem that you may have, keeping yourself passionate, keeping it fresh, because there's not many people on the planet that have taught more yoga classes than me.
Really? I didn't know that.
When I first opened my school in 1983, I was teaching 6 classes a day, and then I cut out one of them and I went down to 5, but I was teaching 5 classes a day for years. We taught every class. I taught every class on my schedule. Bikram taught every class on his schedule, and when Bikram would go to India, I would teach 4 classes a day for him. So how do you keep it fresh? Especially if you're teaching a class, like in the Bikram world or in the Ashtanga world, the postures are exactly the same every day. How are you going to keep it fresh? Here are a couple tips to help you do that. And I'm going to give you a few tips on how to keep it fresh, and by far the last one's the most important, so make sure to watch the video all the way through. But what I want you to do right now is hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, any comments you have. If you want to learn all about hot yoga, how to practice, tips on being a better yoga teacher, hit the subscribe button right now. First tip, you have to think of the class as a puzzle. Yeah, you're teaching the same poses every day, but there are always going to be different people. That's going to create a different energy, a different puzzle. Let's say you have 20 people in a class and 15 of those people are beginners. Another class, on a rare occasion, let's say there's 20 people and 15 of them are advanced students. You're going to teach, you're going to have a different energy toward what you have in that puzzle. What the puzzle pieces are going to bring to you is going to change everything. One thing that I learned from my teacher Bikram was knowing how to correct people. Now, as a beginning teacher, you're going to be limited in how many people you can correct. You really can only correct the new people, the brand new people, first day, first week, first month student. Those are the people you're going to be able to correct. As you become more advanced in your teaching, as you become more experienced teacher, you're going to be able to correct more and more people. There's not too many people on the planet that I can't correct. So you got to be careful with your new person. And I did a video on this channel recently called How to Handle Newbies, how to handle those new people. You don't want to give them too much attention. If you put too much attention on your new person, if you're compelled to get them to do the posture to the best they can do, first of all, they don't want the attention.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
And second, what you're doing is you're taking away from all your auto pay people. You're taking away from all your regulars. You got to make sure that the class is your priority, and timing is such a priority. I tell this to my people in our teacher training programs. Timing is a priority before all the bullet points you can remember within the pose. Especially if you're doing 2 sets, you can spread out the cues, so don't think you have to get it all in. So timing is really important. So now you've got the new person, you've got the intermediate person, you've got the advanced people, and they are all going to be different. Every class is going to be different because the people are different, and that's going to change your attitude on teaching the same postures. You can set an intention before the class. And I tell this to all my teacher training people. And by the way, if you're interested in learning to become a teacher, a hot yoga teacher with me, there are links in the description below. I've got online and live trainings happening all the time throughout the year. So what I tell people in my teacher training program is before you go into your classroom, find a quiet place. If there's an office in the studio you're teaching in, or if they don't have a quiet place in the studio, in your car, take 5 minutes to prepare yourself before you teach that class. This way you have an intention. You're setting an intention to be in the moment. You're setting an intention to be conversational. You're setting an intention not to go on auto mode. How can you find the present moment? Setting your intention is key. So that's important before you do the class. You have that intention in your mind. A great example would be an actor. Let's say Al Pacino is acting in a film. He doesn't get out of his car, come onto the movie set, the director says action, and all of a sudden he's just going to emote.
You're out of order! You're out of order!
He's going to become angry, he's going to be sad, he's going to have this dramatic moment. No, he has a process that he goes through every day before filming to get himself in the right mindset.
If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place!
So as a yoga teacher, I implore you to take at least 5 minutes, finding that quiet place to set your intention before the class so you know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to get out of auto mode, you're going to be in the moment, you're going to find what I call the conversation voice, the explanation voice. Because how do you want to teach a pose? You want to just say arms overhead, interlace your fingers, push your hips to the left, reach your arms to the right. And if you do that, all your students are going to want to do is strangle you.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Or you're going to just Explain what it is that you want to do. When you push your hips to the left, reach your arms to the right, that creates an opposite direction. When you create an opposite direction, that's how you're getting the extension of that side body. Pushing the hips out, you're not just reaching to the right, you're pushing to the left at the same time. You hear the way I sound. It's what I call the explanation or the conversation voice. So now when you have that conversation voice, you're forced to be in the moment. You get out of the autoton mode. So before your next class, set that intention. Here's another tip. Make a theme for the class. Talk about the chakra system. One example, you can make class all about the heart chakra. When we open up the heart chakra, we do that in our back bends, especially in hot yoga, where we exaggerate the back bends. Each time we go backwards, we're opening up the heart. We're opening up the chest. That's the heart chakra. When we do our rounding poses, like standing head to knee, rapid pose, it's also a curled spine that's also opening up the heart and the chest going in the other direction. So you can have this theme throughout the class. Another theme you could choose is the root chakra. When we're standing into the ground, when we're standing into our position, what we call samastitihi, we scoop the tailbone, we press our feet into the earth, we ground ourselves into the floor to give ourselves stability and strength. So you can make that as a theme and keep that theme throughout the class. Heart chakra, root chakra, crown chakra. You can choose whatever one you want to focus on for that particular class. Now, yamas and the niyamas, if you're familiar with those, you could choose ahimsa, non-violence. We're going to be non-violent in our class today, meaning if you're negative about your own practice, oh, I wish I could do better, I wish I could do what that person's doing or what that person's doing. Now you're not practicing ahimsa toward yourself. You're in that negative mode. You want to keep the positive mode. So keeping maybe ahimsa could be a great theme for a particular class. You can change it up. Use the theme. That can be a really great way to keep you present and make the class a little different for that day. Next tip is continue your education, which is true in any field that you want to do. I learned so much more from my teacher Bikram after I was certified. When I'd go back to LA 3-4 times a year, he'd come to my house every single year. I learned more from him in those intimate settings than I did in my teacher training program. Find the next level. If you're a 200-hour certified teacher, earn your 300-hour certified teacher. Will give you a 500-hour status. And you can do that with me, by the way. We have, once again, teacher training programs online and in person. You can earn your 300-hour Barkan Method certificate, which will then give you the 500-hour status. And then after you log in, I believe it's 1,000 hours of teaching, you take us to the next level in the Yoga Alliance. They give you the ERYT, or the Experienced Registered Yoga Teacher. So continue your education will keep it fresh. Continuing your education will keep the information fresh in your mind, and that helps to fuel the passion. Going on a yoga retreat, taking a yoga workshop. I'll be doing a yoga workshop in Bloomfield, New Jersey, at Zora Bloom's Hot Yoga Studio on June 1st, 2023. We have a yoga retreat that we do in the Barkan Method every May. So what I find when people come and do my teacher training programs, they come and do my retreats, they come back to the studio with a new fueled passion. They got different information they can share with their students, and the passion will create a better subtext. When you have that subtext behind your words and you're more connected with what you're saying to your students, you're going to be more effective. They're going to hear what you have to say, get you out of that automatic, repetitive pattern. I always talk about in my teacher training program, you got to break the pattern. How are you going to break the pattern? By being passionate, maybe sharing your experience, by coming back out of that retreat. You're going to come in recharged, you're going to come in refueled, and the people are going to feel it. It's going to be a big difference. And I promise to save the best one for last. The best one for last. Here's the drum roll. As a yoga teacher, you must maintain your own practice. Your practice is your fuel. Your practice is your foundation. I find that many teachers, when they start to teach multiple classes a week, or especially multiple classes a day, they neglect their practice. When you neglect your practice, you neglect your energy. That's your superpower. You can't neglect your own practice because, first of all, you want to practice what you preach. That's a big one. But as you fuel your own practice and you stay present within your body, that's going to now reflect into your classroom, especially when they see you in class and they know you're drinking your own Kool-Aid. Because it's absolutely essential that you keep up your practice that's going to maintain your passion, to inspire your students, and to keep it fresh. So let's sum it up. See the class as a puzzle. Every time it's different. You're going to teach beginning people differently. You're going to teach advanced people. Set an intention before you go into that classroom. See it in your mind first. See what you want to do. How are you going to get conversational? How are you going to connect with those students in that particular day? Set a theme for the class. Maybe it's the heart chakra. Maybe it's the root chakra. Set a theme. Keep it fresh. Go on a retreat. Continue your education. Always learning. You always want to become a student. As a teacher, you want to maintain your status as a student for the rest of your life. I'm always learning. I'm always trying to figure out new things and how I can inspire my students. And keep your practice going. Don't let your practice fall by the wayside. That's your superpower, and that's going to give you more credibility for your students. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about hot yoga as a student and as a teacher, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Any comments you may have, put them down below. I get to all the comments, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye, everyone.